It's November 14th, and today's update is for the mini traders, specifically the S&P mini. I'm going to give you some information you can actually trade with tomorrow and possibly the next day. Here's the S&P mini monthly chart. We start off with a big perspective just to see how the chart's developing. Long term, we put in a big swing high on the monthly chart back in the year 2000, and we came up towards there in October. And we've got this long-term upsloping red trend line here to support us all the way up. So there's a great big triangle, and as we come to the point of that triangle, we're experiencing a bunch of volatility. So that's what's going on here. Let's go down to a weekly chart quickly, and we zoom in on that volatility, and I'm going to put on some Fib studies so you can see some support levels. We have some really key support right here at around 1450 or so, and another one a little lower down around 1385, 1370 to 1385 in that area. So very key support levels there. There was a higher one, but we already took that one out, so now we're down to the second one. And this is important for that long-term red trend line, the upsloping red trend line, to maintain. If that breaks, then we could well go down to the next one, around 1385-ish. So that's on the weekly chart. Zoom into the daily chart so we can get some perspective on what we're going to do tomorrow. Market's been pulling back here on the daily basis since October 11th. Pulled back a couple of nice swings to the downside. In fact, we could add some expansion fibs on that just to show where we have some support. It's probably not necessary for this market update, but we've got one support level right here at 1465, and we took that out. Let's do another one. So we've got some more support down there at 1421. I'm not going to focus on those right now because it doesn't help us with the clarity I want to give in this update. We have key support right here, as I said earlier, around 1450 or so. Bounced off of that yesterday, and today we pulled back a little bit, and there's another support level lower down. So what we can say on this is that we're in a support zone right here around 1450. The market is trending down, though, for intraday traders. We do want to favor the downside. Just watch out for these two support levels, one at 1450 and the next one lower down. If you're short, you might want to consider taking some profits, and don't short too close to those support lines because it can be disastrous. Now we're having some little bounces to the upside intraday, and based on that we can calculate some resistance studies because we have a downtrend. We like to favor moves to the downside, but where do you want to enter? Let's pick some optimal shorting opportunities here. So based on our resistance studies on the daily chart for intraday traders, we've got some key resistance level, one prime one right here, close to where it was intraday today, around 1500, 1494 and a half, 1492, yeah, 1494 and a half. So slightly below 1500, we have one key resistance level. I'll change the color of that one to distinguish. Here we go. We'll make it green. So we've got a resistance level right there, and then another key one a little higher up that we should be concerned about, which is up at around 1530. So let's call it 1499 and 1530. If we can rally above those two, then it gets much more bullish, and we'll have resistance up at the prior swing high. I don't really get bullish on this chart until we get above 1530. Sure, intraday we may get some long opportunities between 1498 and 1530, but with the overall trend on the daily chart being down, I'd be a little cautious. So let's summarize. For intraday traders tomorrow, we're looking to short if we can get decent entries. We did have a rally up to the first resistance level today, so if we see a cross down on your intraday charts, we might want to consider shorting up here near 1497, 1500. If it gets up to the next one around 1530, also a great shorting area. Above that, I'd be a little more cautious. Watch out with shorts as we get down to support here around 1450 or so, key support level there. If we start out down there, I'd be a little cautious about shorting. We need to see that level break, and then we have some shorting territory back down to the next lower support level around the 1385-ish area. So there you go. Those are the key support levels and resistance levels for tomorrow. We still have a bias to the downside until we can get some change in this market character with a thrust up above 1530 or so. Then we start to look bullish. Until then, favoring the downside, but only entering at the right places.